When your salary arrives, it brings two things with it: opportunity and responsibility. The opportunity to move your life forward and the responsibility to manage that money with purpose. Most people let their salary control them. Today, I want you to flip that. I want you to control your salary. Every rupee, every dollar, every bit of it working for you. Budgeting is not about restriction. It's about direction. When you give your money a plan, it stops disappearing. It starts growing. And saving money becomes automatic, not accidental. So here's the truth. You don't need a higher salary to save. You need a better system. Start by knowing exactly what you earn and exactly what you spend. Because clarity is power. Break your income into 3 parts: needs, wants, and savings. Your needs keep you alive, your wants keep you happy, and your savings keep you free. And freedom is the goal. Commit a fixed percentage of your salary to savings the moment it arrives. Not at the end of the month, at the beginning. Because money saved first is money protected. Money saved last is money lost. Pay yourself before you pay anyone else. That's how investors think. That's how wealth is built. And don't wait for the perfect time. There is no perfect time. If you can save 5%, save it. If you can save 10%, save it. Small steps compound into big results. Discipline beats intention every single time. Stop letting your salary slip through your fingers. Every meal, every subscription, every just this once adds up. Ask yourself one question before spending anything. Does this bring me closer to my goals or further away? Because your financial future is built on the decisions you make today. You have the power to live a life that is controlled, confident, and financially strong. But that starts with choosing to budget with purpose. Build a system, stick to it, and watch your savings grow. Not because you got lucky, but because you finally took full control of your money. Your salary is not just income. It's a tool. And when you use it wisely, it becomes the engine behind your freedom. Most people think budgeting starts with cutting expenses or forcing yourself to save, but that's not the real beginning. The real beginning is awareness, seeing your money clearly, honestly, without fear or guesswork. Because you cannot control what you don't understand, and you cannot build wealth on assumptions. The first step toward financial strength is knowing exactly what you earn and exactly what you spend. This is your foundation, your anchor, and your greatest power in money management. When your salary comes in, it feels big for a moment, but without clarity, it slips through your hands like sand. You can't improve what you don't measure. So the very first thing you must do is track. Track every rupee, every dollar, every expense, every inflow. Not to punish yourself, never for guilt, but for understanding. Money doesn't disappear randomly. It leaves in patterns. And when you can see those patterns, you can break the ones that hurt you and strengthen the ones that build you. Clarity puts you back in the driver's seat. Instead of thinking, I don't know where my money went, you start saying, I know exactly where it goes, and I choose where it goes next. That mindset shift is massive. It's the difference between being controlled by your salary and controlling it with confidence. When you know your numbers, you stop living on autopilot. You stop reacting. You start planning. Write down your income, all of it. Salary, side income, bonuses, everything that enters your pocket. Then list your expenses without leaving anything out. Food, transport, rent, electricity, subscriptions, those small snacks, random purchases, everything. Many people think they spend not that much until the truth shows up in the numbers. And that truth is empowering, not frightening. Because once you see it, you can fix it. This clarity shows you what is essential, what is emotional, and what is simply habit. Suddenly you'll notice where the leaks are: small, unnecessary expenses that quietly drain your salary every month. When you identify them, you gain control. You gain options. You gain power. You learn that your salary was never the problem. The problem was not knowing how you were using it. With clear awareness, budgeting becomes easier. Saving becomes easier. Adjusting becomes easier. You stop guessing how much you can save and start knowing exactly how much you will save. And that certainty gives you confidence. It gives you direction. It gives you peace. Awareness is the foundation of wealth. It's the first key because everything else depends on it. If you want freedom from financial stress, if you want savings that grow, if you want to use your salary to build your future instead of just surviving month to month, then you must master this step. Know your numbers deeply, honestly, completely, because clarity is not just information. Clarity is power. Most people think budgeting is about cutting all the good things out of their life, but that's not what smart money management is. Budgeting is about creating a structure that gives your money direction instead of letting it wander wherever your impulses take it. And one of the most powerful structures you can build is dividing your income into 3 simple, life-changing categories: needs, wants, and savings. When you organize your money this way, you take control of your financial future with clarity and confidence. Needs come first. These are the things that keep you safe, healthy, and functioning. Rent, food, transport to work, basic utilities, these are not optional. But here's the important part. Needs don't mean luxuries disguised as necessities. Many people confuse comfort with need. A need is what you must pay to live. A want is what you pay to feel better. When you understand that difference, you unlock a level of financial power most people never reach. You start spending with purpose instead of emotion. You stop letting temporary desires steal from your long-term goals. Then comes the wants category. And listen closely, wants are not the enemy. You're not supposed to live like a robot who only pays bills and never enjoys life. Wants are where your happiness lives: restaurants, entertainment, gifts, small treats, anything that brings joy. But wants must be controlled, not eliminated. When you consciously set a limit on how much you spend for pleasure, it actually increases your appreciation for those moments. You stop overspending because you start choosing intentionally instead of impulsively. And then, the most important category, savings. This is your future. This is your protection. This is your freedom. Money saved is not money lost. It is money transformed. It becomes opportunities later, security during emergencies, and the foundation of your dreams. Savings is the category that most people treat like an afterthought, something they'll do later when they earn more. But later never comes unless you make the decision now. By treating savings as a non-negotiable part of your budget, you're telling yourself that your future matters as much as your present. When you divide your income into these 3 categories, something powerful happens. Your money stops controlling you, and you start controlling it. You no longer wonder, where did all my salary go? Instead, you know exactly where every portion is going and why. You remove chaos and replace it with intention. You remove stress and replace it with confidence. And most importantly, you remove guilt from spending because you know exactly what has already been saved. This simple structure is not just a financial strategy. It's a mindset shift. It teaches discipline without forcing sacrifice. It allows enjoyment without creating regret. It builds wealth without needing a higher income. Most people wait for their salary to increase before they improve their habits. But winners know that habits must improve first, then the money follows. Divide your income. Respect the structure. Stick to it with discipline. And watch your financial life transform piece by piece. The moment your salary hits your account, you face a crucial decision, one that silently shapes your entire financial future. Most people don't even notice this moment. Their money arrives, and within hours, it is already slipping away, scattered across bills, cravings, impulse buys, and unnecessary decisions. But the financially strong, the people who build stability and wealth, they treat this moment with intention. They understand one powerful truth. If you want to save consistently, if you want to grow financially without stress, you must commit a fixed percentage of your salary to savings the moment it arrives. Not later, not after expenses, not after thinking about it. Immediately. Saving at the beginning is more than a rule. It's a mindset. It's a declaration that you matter, your future matters, and your goals matter. When you save first, you're telling your money where to go instead of watching it disappear. You are paying yourself before you pay anyone else. And that is the attitude of every investor, every disciplined earner, every person who builds wealth from scratch. The biggest mistake people make is believing they'll save whatever is left at the end of the month. But nothing meaningful is ever left at the end. Life will always find ways to take your money. Sales, cravings, sudden plans, small luxuries that don't feel like much, but add up fast. That is why saving must become automatic. You remove emotion and replace it with discipline. You remove excuses and replace them with consistency. And consistency is the real engine of financial growth. The percentage doesn't matter as much as the habit. If you can save 20%, great. If you can save 10%, powerful. Even 5% done with discipline is better than 0% done with excuses. Because savings grow in two ways: through the amount you save and the discipline with which you save. A small percentage saved every month becomes a habit that compounds over years into something life-changing. That habit becomes your financial safety net, your emergency buffer, your opportunity fund. And let me tell you something important. Saving first doesn't restrict you. It frees you. It frees you from worrying about unexpected expenses. It frees you from paycheck to paycheck stress. It frees you from fear about the future. The money you save is not money you lose from living today. It is money that guarantees you can live better tomorrow. When you commit to saving a fixed percentage first, your brain adjusts. You naturally learn to live within what remains. You stop overspending. You stop buying things you don't need. You stop making careless decisions. Your lifestyle shapes start with a percentage you can maintain, commit to it with intensity, and let the habits shape the future you want. Most people delay improving their financial life because they believe they need to take massive steps to see real results. They wait for a higher salary, a promotion, a perfect moment when everything finally aligns. But the truth is far simpler and far more powerful. Big results do not come from big actions. They come from small, consistent steps repeated with discipline. That is the secret. That is the formula. That is the difference between those who grow financially and those who stay stuck in the same cycle year after year. You don't need to save half your income. You don't need to invest thousands. You don't need to transform your life in one day. You only need to start small, but start now. Because money grows slowly at first, then suddenly. It grows with time, with repetition, with habit. But none of that can happen unless you take the first step, no matter how small it seems. A small step taken today is more powerful than a perfect plan you will never start. Discipline beats intention every single time. Everyone intends to save. Everyone dreams of being financially secure. Everyone imagines a future with less stress and more freedom. But only a few people act on it daily. Only a few people follow the system even when it feels boring, even when the progress looks slow, even when motivation fades. And those are the people who build real financial strength. Think of it this way. Saving 5% of your salary doesn't feel like much in the moment. You won't feel richer tomorrow. You won't see a dramatic change next week. But give that habit a year and you will see progress. Give it 2 years and you will see stability. Give it 5 years and you'll feel a level of confidence you've never felt before. That is the magic of compounding. Not just compounding money, but compounding discipline. Every time you choose to save instead of spend, you are training your mind. Every time you stick to your budget, you strengthen your financial muscles. Every time you make a small, wise choice, you're building the mindset of someone who wins with money. These small choices accumulate over time until one day you look back and realize you did something extraordinary through simple, consistent discipline. The perfect time will never come. Life will never stop being busy. Expenses will never fully disappear. But you can decide, right now, that you will move forward anyway. You can choose to take small steps and trust that they are leading you somewhere meaningful. And they will, because progress is not about speed, it's about direction. And discipline gives you that direction. Start with what you can. Say what you can. Improve what you can. Small steps may not feel powerful today, but they will shape your future more than any big plan you postpone. Let discipline guide you. Let consistency define you. And watch how small steps quietly transform your entire financial life. Money doesn't disappear on its own. It leaves through decisions, small, quick, emotional decisions that we barely notice in the moment. A snack here, a ride there, a subscription we don't use, a purchase we don't think through. None of these things feel big by themselves, But over time, they drain your salary quietly, consistently, and completely. And one day you look at your account and wonder where everything went. That cycle will never end until you develop the one skill that separates strong financial thinkers from everyone else: the skill of intentional spending. The ability to pause, reflect, and ask one powerful question before you buy anything. Does this bring me closer to my goals or further away? That question is simple, but it transforms your entire relationship with money. Every purchase has a direction. It is either pulling you forward or holding you back. It is never neutral. When you begin evaluating your spending through this lens, you stop living on impulse and start living with purpose. You stop being driven by temporary desire and start being driven by long-term vision. And that, more than anything else, is what builds financial success. Your salary is not weak. Your goals are not impossible. You simply need to align your daily actions with the future you want. Every time you're about to spend, pause for just 2 seconds. Those 2 seconds will save you more money in a year than any budgeting trick ever could. In those 2 seconds, ask yourself, is this necessary? Is this matching the future I'm building? Will I still value this purchase next week? Most of the time, the honest answer will steer you away from unnecessary spending. Not because you're forcing yourself, but because you're choosing to prioritize something bigger: your stability, your freedom, your dreams. The moment you start questioning your spending, your habits begin to shift. You start realizing how many purchases are based on boredom, stress, comparison, or impulse rather than true need or value. You begin noticing which things genuinely add to your life and which things only add to your regret. This self-awareness sharpens your discipline. It strengthens your financial mindset. It gives you control over your money instead of letting your emotions or surroundings control it for you. And here's the surprising part. The more intentional you become, the more satisfaction you feel from the things you do choose to buy. Because now, your spending is meaningful. It's chosen with clarity, not confusion. You stop drowning in random expenses and start investing in what actually matters. Your savings grow naturally, not forcefully. Your stress decreases. Your confidence rises. And your goals finally feel possible because your decisions are aligned with them. You don't need to eliminate joy or cut everything out. You just need to stop letting money slip away without purpose. Every financial transformation, no matter how big, begins with this mindset. A simple question, a moment of clarity, a decision that protects your future instead of weakening it. Before every purchase, remind yourself, you're not just spending money, you're shaping your life. Choose the direction that moves you forward. Too many people live paycheck to paycheck, feeling trapped, overwhelmed, and powerless. They look at their bank accounts with anxiety, thinking, why is money always gone so fast? The truth is, financial freedom is not about earning more. It's about choosing control. You have the power to live a life that is controlled, confident, and financially strong, but it starts with one decision: to budget with purpose. This is not a small choice. It is the foundation of your future. It is the first step toward building a life where your money works for you instead of the other way around. Budgeting with purpose is not about restriction, fear, or guilt. It is about intention, direction, and clarity. It's about telling your money where it should go, what it should do, and how it should grow. When you make this choice, you shift from being reactive to being proactive. You stop asking, where did all my money go? And start asking, how can I make my money serve my goals? That shift in thinking changes everything. Suddenly, every expense, every saving, every financial decision becomes meaningful. Suddenly, your salary is no longer just income. It is a tool for freedom, for security, for dreams. Controlled living starts with knowing your numbers. Controlled living means understanding exactly what you earn, what you spend, and where your money is going. Without control, confidence cannot exist. Confidence comes from knowing you're not drifting aimlessly. It comes from knowing that every rupee is accounted for, every decision is deliberate, and every month you are moving closer to your financial goals. When you budget with purpose, you reclaim the power that is rightfully yours: power over choices, power over stress, power over your future. Confidence in finances is built through action. It grows each time you stick to your budget, save consistently, and make intentional spending choices. Confidence is knowing that emergencies will not derail you, that unexpected expenses will not break you, and that your future is not a gamble, but a plan. The more consistent your budgeting habits, the stronger your confidence becomes. And that confidence spills over into every part of life: decisions, relationships, career choices, because money no longer feels like a source of worry, but a source of empowerment. Financial strength is the result of control and confidence combined with discipline. When you budget with purpose, you are actively building this strength every single month. You are creating reserves, building opportunities, and preparing for growth. Strength is not only about having more money. It is about knowing that you have choices, security, and freedom. Strength is the ability to live life on your terms rather than being forced to react to circumstances. It all starts with a single decision. Choose to budget with purpose. Choose to take control. Choose to act with intention. Choose to make your salary a tool for growth rather than a fleeting resource. The power is in your hands. The control is yours. The confidence is yours to claim. And when you take that step today, you begin building a life that is truly financially strong, free, and unstoppable. Your future is not determined by your income. It is determined by the choices you make with it now.